SNOG was the brainchild of Ray Cook and myself in 1999 when we realised that the outcome for brain cancer was so poor around the world, and we thought there was very little research happening in that field, and we wanted to try and do something to improve the amount of research happening here in Australia and hopefully find a cure for brain cancer.
The laboratory-based research for the Sydney Neuro-Oncology Group is based in the Bill Walsh Translational Cancer Research Lab at the Colling Institute. And so this is on the campus of Northern Sydney Local Health District, which includes Royal North Shore Hospital and also has North Shore Private Hospital. It's also the northern campus for the Sydney Medical School at the University of Sydney. So it's both it's a research and an education as well as a health campus. So our lab is also the research arm of the medical oncology department, and so that means that we have a very translational focus.
The challenge for an organisation such as SNOG is to come up with a process where we can do something meaningful, and meaningful for this country and meaningful for the world. And it's always troubled me that we're just one organisation in one city in the world, and the idea of throwing our hat into the ring and getting involved with a process like GBM Agile is very exciting, because it will allow our group to become globalised. It'll allow us to become part of the big process, and that big process is obviously a very complicated process. Otherwise we would have already found the solution to malignant brain tumours, which we haven't. This GBM Agile concept is an extraordinary concept really when you think about it, because it goes against how we do scientific research with multiple phases of trials, ending with this sort of the classic double-blinded, placebo-controlled, randomised trial.
In the medical community, we have made major advances in many areas of medicine, including infectious diseases, cancer treatment, prevention, but there are certain areas of need that have lagged behind. One of the main areas is brain tumors. Malignant brain tumor, glioblastoma, has not seen any major breakthroughs for a very long time. Both clinicians, researchers, but also more importantly, patients and their families are in desperate need for some good news. We are hoping by working together with the best researchers in the world to make a major step forward by introducing a new system whereby new therapies can be tested. The GBM Agile initiative is a transformative clinical trial that will change the landscape of drug discovery and finding therapies, not only in the area of brain tumor, but this can be copied in many other diseases in medicine. And we are hoping by working together and making this project a success that we set the precedent to have a new way of thinking, to be agile and also identify more efficient methods to identify cures for our patients.
The brain seems to have a fairly unique immune system, which means that some of the new immunotherapies that we hope will now transform the landscape for cancer treatment in general will need to be tailored to brain cancer and to the cancer environment.
The type of new therapy that our group researches is one called an immunotherapy. And this basically means that we try and re-educate the patient's immune system. So originally we actually wouldn't see the cancer at all. It would see it itself and therefore wouldn't attack it. And by giving them an immunotherapy, we're trying to re-educate the patient's immune system so it now sees it as foreign and can therefore be able to attack it and kill it.
I'm really focused on our cancer vaccine work, and we're currently testing it to see how it works best in one of our glioma models around how medication that glioma patients receive, to see if it's got any efficacy and how best it will fit around a patient's treatment. And also in the background, we are currently developing the next generation of cancer vaccines, which is quite exciting. We've done lots of preclinical studies to test its efficacy, and so we have a couple of models of glioma. We've done plenty of preclinical testing, And I also did a safety study where we treated close to 100 dogs around Sydney and, well, across the globe really, to test basically the safety of the vaccine, but look for evidence of efficacy. And we've seen enough there to go on to further canine studies, like proper controlled studies.
If we came up with a vaccine that might be potentially effective in the management of brain tumours, for us to test that, we can use a facility like GBM Agile, and we might be able to get some answers within a year or two, rather than waiting a decade to find out that it either does work or it doesn't work. So that's why GBM Agile is absolutely crucial as a different way of doing scientific research, where we get the answers sooner rather than later.
I think it's incredibly important that we continue to support SNOG. SNOG's almost unique, as far as I see, for bringing together different disciplines in the medical field for the benefit of the patient, benefit of the carer, which is really important. And they all do this by doing the research here in Sydney and looking wider to the globe to bring treatments here for patients and carers. I believe that with better funding and better research through SNOG, we can beat brain cancer.
So I believe research is the key, and without research we will not be able to find cures for patients.
So I believe with this kind of research we can not only positively benefit glioma patients, but we can also help benefit patients with a wide range of cancers.
I believe the research performed here in the SNOG lab will help identify new medicines and better strategies to help improve the burden of disease for our glioma patients.
So I believe the research we're doing at SNOG will change the lives of many people.
I believe today's research is tomorrow's cure.